Are you a renter? If so, you're in good company because 500,000 households in Houston rent their apartment. And renter numbers keep growing as Houston continues to draw new residents to our great city.
Hi everyone, Jack Yativ here again, continuing with episode 3 of my YouTube series. Continuing to address the question of, can I rent a good quality apartment in Houston that won't break the bank?
We began to answer this question in episode 2, where I gave you some hints on how to find an apartment complex that has good security. In this episode, I want to deal with affordability and also the maintenance issues I introduced in episode 2. Let's begin by correcting misinformation that repeatedly appears in newspapers and online. According to the media, you cannot find a decently run apartment at an affordable price. Although that may be true in New York City, or Los Angeles, or Boston, it most certainly is not true in Houston. Let's start with some facts. Houston has about 700,000 apartments, and at any one time, anywhere from 7 to 10% of those apartments are vacant. Simple math tells us, therefore, that on average, there are more than 50,000 vacant apartments in Houston at any one time. And based on my 33 years as a landlord, I can assure you that many of those apartments are good quality apartments and affordable. Let's discuss another fact, which is that most housing experts say that a renter should not spend more than a third of her income on apartment rent. Most of the applicants that come to Westview Forest, which is the apartment complex that I run, are reporting incomes of $3,000 to $4,000 per month. But even those making only $2,500 per month can afford our studio apartments that cost about $800 per month. In my experience, although the federal and Texas minimum wage is a ridiculously low $7.25 per hour, most people around town are making at least $10 an hour. As an example, my 17-year-old daughter, who is just now starting out in the job market, is making $11 an hour plus tips serving food and making $15 an hour babysitting. But even if we assume somebody works full-time and a few hours overtime every week, but only makes $10 an hour, that person is still making about $2,500 per month and can afford our studios that run about $800 a month. And of course, many of our apartments at Westview Forest have 2 working adults, and even if one is only working part-time, their joint income will usually be about $4,000 a month, enabling them to afford not only a studio and a 1-bedroom, but even our 2 bedrooms, which start around $1,150 per month. And if the 2 adults are each working full-time, even just making $10 an hour with just a little bit of overtime, their total income will be about $4,500 per month, which will allow them to easily qualify for our large 2-bedroom, 1.5-bath granite super deluxe apartment, which start at $1,410 per month. These GSD apartments are luxurious with new ACs, stainless appliances, new cabinets, granite countertops, hardwood flooring, washer-dryer connections, crown molding, designer plumbing and electrical fixtures, and so much more. So the bottom line is, don't buy the BS that you cannot find a top quality apartment in Houston without breaking the bank. It's just not true. On the contrary, you can even find apartments that are both luxurious and quite affordable. Now that we know that you can find a quality apartment that you can afford, I want to discuss the other topic I introduced in our last episode: how to find an apartment complex that will take care of your maintenance issues in a timely and professional manner. The first piece of advice on finding good maintenance service is the same advice that I gave when discussing the question of security in the last episode. Start by checking the online reviews. Make sure to read at least 20 to 30 reviews, or if you can read even more, that is better. If maintenance service is good, reviewers who live at the property will say that. And if it's bad, they'll definitely mention that. If the reviews are good, your next step is to visit the apartment complex. In my opinion, virtual tours cannot give you a good feel for the kind of service you will get at an apartment complex. I know of many apartment complexes in Houston that look awesome on their online virtual tours that provide very poor service after you move in. Once you're at the apartment complex, here are some things to look for and ask about. Do the common areas, for example, the pools, the barbecue areas, the laundry rooms, the mail rooms, do they all look well kept? They may not look modern if the apartment complex is an older property, which most of the more affordable properties are, but they should look well kept. Another thing to check out are the common areas noted above, plus the driveways and parking areas. Are all of those clean? If the property in general is clean, the property staff are showing pride of ownership, which will usually mean that they will take better care of their residents. Another thing to pay attention to: how do the office staff treat you when you're applying to rent an apartment there? Do they listen to you carefully, and do they answer your questions fully? If they are professional and take good care of you at that stage, there's a good chance that they will take care of you after the sale. This next inquiry is going to sound strange to you, but ask the leasing staff if it's okay for you to walk around the apartment complex by yourself and ask residents how they feel about the property. You will be surprised that some managers will say that you can't do that. You can't walk around the apartment complex. But at Westview Forest, we love it when prospects ask to talk to our residents on their own. Another strange question that prospective tenants don't usually ask, but should, is how old the ACs and appliances are on the average. The leasing staff may not know the answer to this question about the age of the appliances and the ACs, but the maintenance supervisor will definitely know. This question about the age of appliances and ACs is important for two reasons. First, older appliances are more likely to break down, which can be very inconvenient or unpleasant. Second, newer appliances and ACs almost always consume less electricity, so having these newer appliances in your apartment will save you money on your electricity bill. Another unusual request you can make is to ask the staff to show you the shop where they keep maintenance parts. Ask if they have spare air conditioner condensers and air handlers, and whether they have spare appliances and other maintenance parts on hand in their shop. If the answer is no, that means that if your AC or your fridge breaks down, Your repair will be delayed because they will have to go buy the parts or equipment, which isn't always in stock at the vendor that they use. In my opinion, any decent size apartment complex, let's say over 100 or 150 apartments, should have spares of all of these maintenance items in stock. As you can see, there are quite a few things you can do and ask to determine if the maintenance at the apartment complex you're considering is likely to be good. While reviews are helpful, a visit to the property and the questions I discussed above will help you find an apartment complex that is likely to take good care of you. Thanks for watching. I hope this video has been helpful to you. I will see you again in my next video, but until then, happy apartment hunting!